Well, welcome to Pixley in Ledbury. It's late February, it's freezing cold and unsurprisingly raining, as it has been since Christmas. Me and the boy have had a bit of work cancelled today, so we thought we'd pull a fast one and chuck some gear in the van and come and see if we can catch a few fish. Now, it's been a long time since I've caught any big carp, especially in the winter time, and I've actually taken a bit of inspiration from this clown next door. He was up here recently and caught some real big units, so I'm hopeful we can get a bit of elastic stretch in action today, because I don't half need it after a difficult winter.
Right, two things.
Yeah.
First thing, boy
And clown.
and clown.
Perfect description.
Fantastic. Second thing, in solidarity.
Wounded. Yes, for those of you who haven't realised, I've joined the Specky Club. I did have to go and borrow a BB shot when I put these on the other day, realising how many bites I've missed all winter. So, as I'm getting older, these things happen. But anyway, enough of the Mickey taken out of me. That's what you're for.
Yeah, let's go and find you a peg, because there's a few really cool looking pegs on here that I'm interested to see you fish, essentially. So we'll pick something interesting.
Well, either way, we're going to try and catch a couple of big fish. Let's have a look.
Whoa. This one.
Hi, you're all right.
No, come on.
What?
This one.
Well, seriously?
Yeah.
No, you're having me on, aren't you?
Yeah. Just down there, look. Oh, well, you know, it's getting close to that tree. There's bound to be fish living down here.
Oh, you're a bright spark, you are, aren't you?
Well, yeah. You've got room to ship back. Nice. You've got this little bit of an edge here. There's bound to be loads of fish living down here.
Oh, mint. Well, you could have warned me. I'd have brought my crunching pole.
Your gear will still take care of that, I reckon. Are you man enough or dull enough?
Right. I'm a little bit nervous. I won't lie. We're sat in a jungle, as you can see, so I'm spending a while here plumbing up. Luckily, it's quite flat, the bottom. But I'll be confident that there's going to be a lot of fish living in and around these trees, or the mangroves. But catching them could be difficult. Obviously, you know, if they're going to know all about these trees, so there's a good chance that they're going to swim straight in. So with that in mind, it's a little bit like rolling the dice here. You want to try and fish as close to the snags as possible to maximise the amount of fish you want to catch. But at the same time, you've got to be mindful that you could be dicing with death. So ultimately, if I can, I'm going to fish there, 13 metres. That's lovely and flat by there. It's just past all the branches. I've had a good swing around with a plummet, and I can't find any branches or any sort of thing that's going to hinder me there. So that's going to be my starting point. I'll have a short line for later on, but I don't expect to catch anything short early doors. But I've also I'm plumbing up further away as well, because if I do have trouble with the snags and the fish going into them, should we catch any, of course, then I'm going to have to push out further past them to give me a better chance of getting them away from the snags, you know, should we hook any. So I've plumbed out, so I'm going to fish at 13 ideally, but I've plumbed all the way out well, I plumbed all the way out to 17.5, but that's 16 metres there. With my flat butt section in instead of my 16-metre section, because as you can see, it just locks across my knees and under my arms, locked rock solid. And even in this crosswind, I've got my hands free whether I want to catapult bait or do whatever. Just makes life so much easier than when you're battling a round section in the wind. So it's just absolutely locked. So I tend to use this instead of my 16.5 metre section or 16 metre section these days. But anyway, going back to the plumbing up, that's the reason I've done it. So I've plumbed all the way out to 16 and beyond. So I know exactly what I'm dealing with. If and when we start catching at 13 and it becomes an issue, then I'll start working my way out to the point where I can then safely get these fish away from the snags and land them properly. At this point, I'd like to thank Marge for putting me on this peg. I'm, as I said a second ago, a little bit nervous, but these things are sent to try us. We'll definitely give it a go. Plumbing up, as you can see, it's quite deep. It's over a full top kit there. So what's that? That's probably 7 foot, I would think there. And we're plumbed up to pretty much dead depth, maybe an inch over. Just relax the rig; it sits lovely. And that's gonna be the starting gambit. So let's take these sections back. I'll probably fish with my 40-metre section attached to my pole, because should we hook one, I'm going to shove the pole out and try and direct these fish away from there. That's what I'm hoping. But as you can see, it's the same depth. I've got some big back shot on to hopefully steady the rig in this wind, which is a lot stronger than it looks, to be fair. Skating across the top, but it's coming into us, and it's a southwesterly and it's mild, so everything's telling me that this is the right spot to be for some fish.
So I did choose a good peg then, really.
Listen, if this goes bad, there's no way you're taking any of the plaudits for this.
No, I'll get a blame for this, definitely.
And this could very easily go very bad, because I know how big some of the fish are in here. But these things are sent to try us.
Go.
Right, okay. Let's think about baits for these great big units we're going to try and catch. Now, we're at the end of February. Daylight hours are getting longer now, so these fish, from experience, I know that at the end of February, these fish are starting to wake up. They're starting to look for a little bit of bait. So that's why at the moment, you don't see any ground bait on my side tray. Again, we're fishing up the structure where fish are going to live, so I don't want to be piling in an awful load of bait. I just want to try and put enough bait in to catch one at a time. Pellets, 4mm carp and coarse pellets, some 6mm. I always bring some 6mm because I tend to find if they're really responding to noise, you can cut down the volume you're feeding by switching to 6mm. You can ping a few over the top. That'll create plenty of noise and bring the fish in. But rather than feed that many 4mm, I could do the same with that many 6mm. And what that tend to do is probably get you a bite a little bit quicker. So we've got 4 and 6mm pellets. I've got some cheeky little, that's a Coppins pellet that I just use for the hook. And there you can see a little bit of glaze on them. That's just that juice liquid that I cover them in for hook baits. I do like a little standout hook bait if I can get one. And of course, the old favourite, luncheon meat. Now, springtime's a classic time for using luncheon meat for carp. They absolutely love the stuff, and pre-spawning, they tend to look to hunt it down. Doesn't mean you can use loads and loads of it. What I tend to do is use that in conjunction with pellets to try and use the pellets to try and attract those fish. But when they're in your peg, if they see a piece of meat or an odd piece of meat lying around, they tend to snaffle it, and you sometimes find you catch bigger fish on a piece of meat than you will on a pellet. So if I can catch on meat, that's going to be the way forward for me. But dead simple bait tray. Oh, maggots. I've always got some maggots with me. We're going to fish a short line. Now the idea for me is going to be I can feed maggots on that short line and build a peg. I don't expect the fish to be living there, especially with the case with big fish where we're clunking about on the bank. They're going to be out in the lake or where they feel safe down in the mangroves down there. But rather than throw pellets and almost put feel like I'm putting too much food value into the lake on the short line, I'm going to feed maggots, and that enables me to feed more of them, because they'll eat maggots till the cows come home, and that's the beauty of it. If I'm looking to build a peg, I need to do that with a volume of bait, and if I'm putting a volume of bait in, I've got to consider what bait I'm putting in, and when that's the case, and I need a volume of bait that's going to go in all day, I'm going to trickle it in all day and build a peg and hopefully catch on it in the last couple of hours, but that's going to be short, and I'm going to do that with maggots, because when they do rock up on it late, it can be phenomenal. So it all sounds good in theory. Let's see if we can put it into practice without losing my rag too much. Let's find out.
Right, let me just stop you. That is something I've seen many a time on the bank in international fishing.
What's that?
That cup.
Oh, the old double cup.
The double cup.
Yeah, you get a few looks over here using these, but they're designed for a specific reason. You see them a lot on through Europe, and they're generally designed. You've got a smaller cup basically on the bottom, and then it widens out there, as you can see. Now, across in Europe, they use a lot of sticky mag. So if you're feeding small balls of sticky mag and maybe a big ball of ground bait at the same time, the small ball of sticky mag is sitting in the bottom and your big ball over the top. Lovely, nice and easy. But what this does, this little piece in the bottom there, if you're a little bit unstable and a little bit unsure about shipping out, when you need to feed smaller balls or just a few pellets or whatever you want to do, but small volumes of feed, like I've got there, what that does is sit down in the bottom of that cup, and when you ship it out, it doesn't come out. See how it doesn't come out? Because it's the small area, it sits down in the bottom of the cup. Now, if I was to put a small handful of dry pellets in a great big cup, they're going to get bounced out and they're going to rattle around and things like that. But whereas it doesn't happen with this. So that sits nice in the bottom of there. You can throw your pole around, you can bounce it about, and it sits in the bottom lovely.
And I've always seen those European anglers with those.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know.
To now.
I'm just altering my rig. We've caught a few fish now, and I always like, on a deep venue like this, I like to have my bulk quite a way away from my bait and keep lifting and dropping. We're not going to get one to chuck, so it's all about having that bait fall in and trying to grab one's attention. But the bites have been terrible. This wind's playing havoc with it, and the bites have been terrible. And what partly due to two things, I think. They're not being absolutely loads of fish here, so they're grubbing around on the bottom and they're not particularly moving very far because it's cold, and they're picking the bait up and it's just giving you silly little bites, really. And number two, obviously the indication is lessened because the bulk's a lot further away. So what I'm going to do now, I've gone from like a bulk up there with a couple of small droppers. So I've now moved my bulk down. I'm going to fish a bulk on one dropper, which is a lot more positive, and hopefully that'll accentuate the bite. That fish won't have to move as far to move that bulk, which will give us a more positive bite. So in theory, we'll see the bites a little bit better. But yeah, it's been hard so far, but we're starting to catch a few now. So we're getting a few indications. So hopefully it'll keep getting better.
And the rain has stopped for you.
Ah, yeah, rain. Pleased with that, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were happy with that. You saw it bouncing off my face. You absolutely loved that, didn't you?
Stood under the umbrella, nice. Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, really nice.
Right, catch me some more then.
I'm trying. Marge, you're in my way again, by there.
Right, well, you haven't put any kinder pots on, so what's that all about?
Well, I'm trying to fish for bites, to be honest, and the weather's horrendous, blowing a hoolie, but I'm trying to just gauge what response I'm getting. So because we're not catching loads, I can just drip a little bit of bait in with my big pot and fish over the top of it, and this can go from there. I mean, not to say I won't put a kinder pot on at some point, but at the moment I'm not getting enough bites to warrant me feeding every time I go out. I'm trying to gauge what's happening at the moment. I'm just trickling a little bit in with my cup, nice and steady. It seems to be doing the trick, but I'm hoping we're going to start getting a few more bites soon. Oh, this weather, Marge, is painful. You tucked me right up here, haven't you? But the fishing's good. I'm catching a few now.
What are you catching them on?
Well, now I'm starting to get bites. I've started to catch them on meat, so I've switched over to a little tiny kinder pot with like 8 cubes in, and I'm just tapping that out. Look at that, there's one. I'm just tapping that out, and it's good now. I'm probably, in terms of like gear, I'm probably a little bit overgunned for this because we've had such a cold week that these fish are not pulling massively hard, but at the same time, you need to have gear to try and get them away from those snags. So you don't want to be fishing too light, but at the same time, you don't need to go daft with them.
What is your rig?
Rig's quite simple. We're fishing 0.6 of a gram. It's about 7 foot deep. I'm fishing 0.19 to 0.15 hook length. And
how big's your hook?
Just a 14, a decent size 14 with a piece of meat on it. But this is getting better and better now. I fancy as well, we might even catch a few short the way these fish are feeding now. Oh, this is mint fishing. It really is absolutely brilliant.
He's a monster.
Look at that, look. In she goes. I can get my landing net away from the brambles. There's another one out long. Just shove the pole out 40 metres and let him swim around in open water, keep him well away from those snags. Oh, 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 oh dear.
Right, you're short.
Yeah, I reckon it's time now. We had a nice few fish out there, but I've been chucking maggots and an odd cube of meat in on this short line, so luckily it's exactly the same depth, so one rig does all.
I like it when that happens.
I love that, I do, yeah. It's my favourite. But this has been mega. You know, few bites, hard to start off with, but we quite kind of expected that, really.
To be fair to you, sat in some bad weather here as well.
Oh. Yeah, I love it when you're laughing at me. It's nice to know as well, my umbrella's keeping your stuff dry, not me.
There she is. One umbrella. Oh,
look at that.
yes.
First chuck, is it? You cannot beat this meat fishing when it's going. Unbelievable. When I get on it, I genuinely think they just like hunt it down. Whatever's in it, obviously the fats and the proteins that the carp are really looking for after winter, or coming out of winter at least, they absolutely get on it. It's great. You can see how deep it is. It's not the easiest, but deep water does tend to help you with bigger fish in that they don't go tearing off.
Those short fours help for that as well, don't they?
Yeah, I do use I use a short four a lot. These brambles are driving me nuts. There we are. There you go. That's about £15 on anyone's money.
Yeah, good fish.
What are we saying?
Yeah, I'd give you 15. That'd be nice to you. You sat in that wind, so you know.
That is a mint day's fishing. Probably the biggest of the day, this one, but plenty similar. Mission well and truly accomplished, Marge.
Yeah, well done, boy.
Cheers.
Come on then. Show me your wares.
We've had a few, mate.
What a place this is.
I'm not going to get them out, mate. I'm just going to...
That's alright.
But... look at the size of these as well. That is about as much fun as winter fishing gets.
Look at them all, they keep coming.
Yeah, there's a few. Hard at first, mate, but once we got them coming, that was it. There we go. Mangroves, done.